Shavua Tov, and welcome to the Women's Jewish Learning Center weekly 2 Minutes of Torah. In this week's Parshat Vayakhel, we read about the details of the Mishkan, this time as they're building it. And while I imagine that these Parshiot are about the Mishkan are the favorite of architects and engineers around the world, they leave some of us wondering what we can learn from the planks and the sockets and the tenons. So I wanted to look a little more closely at the language used in the construction plans and the work, language that teaches us about the true purpose of the Mishkan as it was back then, and the purpose of the Mishkans that we build in our own lives. In describing the making of the cloth for the tent, the Torah speaks of connecting one cloth to another and putting the cloths together. The phrase that is used for connecting one cloth to the other is Isha el achotah, each woman to her sister, the woman and her sister representing the cloths that will be connected. And then in our Parsha, as it did in Parshat Truma, when speaking of the golden cherubs on top of the ark, the text tells us that the cherubs faced each other. And the phrase that's used to tell us that the cherubs' faces were toward one another is Ish el achiv, a man toward his brother. So the language of attaching cloth conjures women and their sisters. And the language of cherubs facing one another suggests men and their brothers. The rabbis believed that there were no accidents of language in the Torah. And I think that's the case with this choice of words too. The physical Mishkan is described by way of connectedness of human beings because that's the message and the mission of spiritual structures. Whether as individuals or communities, if the Jewish lives that we build don't serve to connect people as brothers and sisters, then we're not building the right kind of Jewish life. And if our institutions are about me at the expense of you or you at the expense of me, then something isn't right. In an understated way, the physical Mishkan continues that great theme of Breshit, that the purpose of our lives is Shomer Achi Anochi. I am responsible for my brothers and my sisters. And one of the most important hats that we wear is that of brother or sister to all other images of God. May our reading of these physical details this week remind us of our spiritual work in this world. Shavua Tov.